behind the back 3-beat weave. It is one of the most requested moves that I hear about, and yes, today we're finally going to dive into it. Drex here from DrexFactor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your brain. And yes, that's right, I am finally taking this request and showing you how to get down those behind the back weaves. But before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecca, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterra Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultra Poi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these awesome companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links down in the description of this video. And special thanks to the non-business friend of the channel, Pekka Pekkonen. Thank you so very much for supporting my channel, my work, and my mission. Alright, so low-key, whenever I have done a live stream Q&A in any point of the past 3 years, this move comes up. There's always somebody who wants to learn how to do it. And don't get me wrong, I get it. The behind the back weave definitely takes everything that you know about the 3-beat weave and puts it in a place where it is immediately having a wow factor for absolutely everybody, whether they are a flow person or not. So in this tutorial, I'm going to take you through 5 specific steps that you're going to need to go through in order to get down a behind the back 3-beat weave. Here goes. Step 1. Learn your behind the back planes. Alright, so low-key, the behind the back weave is really challenging because it is one of those things that happens in what I refer to as a limited mobility space. Basically, you are working in a place where rather than having free reign of what your hands can do, you have to stick them in a spot where they have limited mobility and still control the planes of the poi, which is tough to do. So we're going to start this off by learning how to control those planes with each hand. Now, how we're going to do this is we're going to take a version of a drill that I'm a big fan of, namely keeping the plane in one position as your body goes around it, and we're just going to apply that in such a way that we're changing the orientation of our body relative to the poi and getting it behind our back. Here's what that looks like. I actually want you to start with the poi spinning forwards at your side, and what you're going to do is you're going to start to turn away from it. You want to wind up with the poi spinning behind your back. If you look back at it, it's going to look like it is spinning counterclockwise. You're going to have a moment where your hand is going to change its orientation from palm up to palm down, and then you're going to try and continue on your way all the way around to having your hand tucked behind your back and the poi spinning over on your left-hand side. Let me show you that from a couple other perspectives. Number 1. As we're looking straight on here, I'm going to start to turn away from the poi. Again, it was spinning forwards relative to me when I was looking at the camera. And as I turn away from it, I'm going to flip my hand upside down so that my palm is now pointed towards the ceiling, and I'm going to keep on walking until I wind up with my hand tucked behind my back and the poi now spinning what looks like reverse on my left-hand side. Here's that from the front. So, again, I'm facing over to stage left, and I have the poi spinning forwards on my side. I start walking around in place, and right about the time when my hand is coming close to the small of my back, I'm going to switch from palm up to palm down and keep on turning my body until I get the hand all the way tucked behind my back over on my left-hand side, and it looking like the poi is spinning reverse relative to me. And of course, then I want to make my way back out. Really, really, really important. You want to work your way through individually each and every one of these positions. If there's a place where you find that the plane is getting stuck, go back to the last position where it felt stable, do 10 beats, and then move a little bit forward, keep that stable for 10 beats, a little bit forward, keep that stable for 10 beats, so on and so forth until you can get all the way over to getting your hand behind your back and getting back out with ease. And of course, once you get that down with your right hand, you got to do the same exercise with your left hand. Because guess what? We're going to need both hands as we go on through this process. Step 2, behind the back tic-tacs. Alright, so you got down our exercise of learning how to keep the poi spinning with your hand locked behind your back. Congratulations! The next step is to do the same thing that we do when we're learning how to do a 3-beat weave in front of us. Namely, we're going to work with learning how to do a tic-tac that is bending the plane of the poi back and forth from side to side of our body. Only this time, we need to do it in a spot where we cannot see that motion. Goodness. All right, so for this one, you want to start with the poi spinning reverse on your side and try and wrap your hand around behind you in that position that we were getting to in the last exercise. As you go back and forth between these two positions, you want to try and make sure that you're getting a nice little cross point happening back away from you where you can't see it. I know it's a challenge. One of those things that is almost certainly going to happen as you're learning how to do this is that you're going to find yourself hitting the backs of your legs as you go back and forth. The reason for this being that, number one, you're still unused to keeping your plane straight behind your back, and also, two, that you're working from such a place where your hand is kind of pointing your thumb down at the ground. This means that your planes are going to tilt off on a diagonal rather than staying vertical. How do we fix this? I'm so glad that you asked. One of those things that I find really helpful for this is actually to imagine that my palm is going to stay pointed up towards the ceiling as it sits behind me. That way, I always know that I'm putting in the effort to keep my planes as vertical as possible as they go back and forth across my body, like so. You want to try and learn this, of course, with both hands. So see if you can get to the point where you can do 10 repetitions of a behind the back tic-tac with both your right hand as well as with your left hand, like so. Step 3, behind the back 2-beat weaves. Okay, so once again, we're going to take what we do when we're learning how to do 3-beat weaves in front of us and use that as a template for what we do when we're learning our behind the back weaves. So once we get down our tic-tacs, like so, we then want to work on doing 2-beat weaves. That is shifting one hand around the other as they go back and forth in split time, same direction. Trick is, we need to do this with our hands behind our back. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different a challenge than the one that we were just dealing with. We want to try and get both of our hands in play at the same time. And just like we do with 2-beat weaves in front of our bodies, we have to think that the hand that starts this motion is the one that goes underneath. I'm going to start off by having my left hand go underneath, like so. So it's reaching to try and get in that space between my right hand and my back as I go back and forth here. Let me show you that from straight behind me. I think left hand starts, the right hand goes over. Left hand starts, right hand goes over. Left hand starts, right hand goes over. By the same token, I also want to work on trying to get my right hand to tuck underneath my left, like so, and try and make sure that I'm keeping enough space between my left hand and my back that my right hand can tuck underneath and in between. So the goal here is to try and get 10 reps, both going my left hand on bottom and 10 reps going my right hand on bottom as I go back and forth. Again, let me show you that from the back. So we want 10 reps with the left hand on bottom, and we want 10 reps with the right hand on bottom. Step 4, over, under, back. All right, so we're starting to close in on our final exercises for getting down this behind the back 3-beat weave. Now we need to talk about the actual pattern of the 3-beat weave. The 2-beat just involves keeping the same hand on top the entire way around, whether that happens to be the left hand or it happens to be the right hand. To do a full 3-beat weave, we have to alternate which hand is on top, and that means learning a pattern that basically breaks down to over, under, back, over, under, back with each hand. And doing this behind our backs is no exception. All right, so for this exercise, I'm actually going to wrap up the poi in my left hand and practice just doing this with my right hand to start with. So believe it or not, this actually starts off in the same place as the exercise we did in the 2-beat weave, where I'm trying to get my left hand to tuck underneath my right hand. That is my right hand going over. And I want to see then if I can tuck my right hand underneath my left hand before bringing it back to the right hand side. So again, that is my right hand goes over, under, and back. Over, under, and back. Let me show you that all the way from the back. I think my right hand goes over, under, back, over, under, back. It's really important that I'm looking to try and tuck that right hand in between my left hand and my body when it's over on the left hand side here. That is what ultimately makes the whole pattern possible. Of course, as with all things, we want to learn this with the left hand as well. So we would start off with it reaching over, under, and then back, over, under, and then back. Once again, we're trying to get our left hand from being in front of our right hand and then tucking it between the right hand and our back for that second beat. Let me show you that from the back. We have over, under, back, over, under, back, over, under, back. But really what this feels like is under, over, back, under, over, back. Because we're kind of used to thinking of the bottom of our wrists as being under rather than over. I know it's confusing, but it will make more sense with practice. Step 5, giants. Wait, what now? What do giants have to do with doing the behind the back 3-beat weave? Well, truth be told, I actually did not get down a behind the back 3-beat weave until I learned how to start moving my body along with it. See, there's this thing that happens when we try to do the behind the back 3-beat weave without moving our body, and that is that our arms have to work really, really hard to do it. Whereas if we get our body engaged in helping out, this actually makes it considerably easier to get down the behind the back 3-beat weave. But I didn't understand how to move my body until I started learning how to do poi giants. So poi giants are literally just performing reels, but doing them with our full arms. So what I want to do is think that I'm going to have my arms spinning forwards in split time, same direction over to stage right. And then as my left hand goes down towards my ankles, I'm going to follow it all the way around to stage left and then get my poi spinning reverse in split time, same direction with full extensions. When my right hand is going up and over, I want to follow it back over to the right hand side and land back with my arms spinning forwards over on stage right. So I want to think I follow my left hand to stage left and my right hand to stage right. My left hand to stage left, my right hand to stage right. And eventually I want to just be able to go straight back and forth between these two sides. Now notice that as this is happening, I can no longer move my feet to switch which side of the stage I happen to be facing. So this puts me in a position where that motion has to come from my body core. I'm having to pivot from my hips back and forth. And when that gets to feel normal, guess what? That's the final piece of the puzzle for getting down those behind the back 3-beat weaves. Putting it all together. All right, cool. So now we know the pattern of the behind the back 3-beat weave, and we've learned how to move our body with it. So it's time to put all those pieces together. It's time to start off with the poi spinning reverse on our sides and reach around to try and get the right hand over and then under and then back. The left hand too. We want to get it over and then under and then back. And we want to switch back and forth between these. Right over, left over, right over, left over. Again, from the back, we get right over, left over, right over, left over, right over, left over, right over, left over. Just like that. I say just like that. This takes some practice, but you'll notice that as I'm doing that, I'm turning my body back and forth and I'm keeping in mind that over-under back motion. Those pieces will come together to produce this move, I promise. Cool, so I hope that was helpful. If you learned this move, please post video of yourself doing it to either Instagram or TikTok and make sure to tag me. I would love to see your great work. Did you get anything out of this video? Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to help other people find it and to help my channel grow. This video would not be possible without the contributions of my awesome supporters on Patreon. In particular, I want to give a shout out to my Flow patrons who are listed on screen now. If you'd like to check out more tutorials that I have done on a variety of intermediate level poi tricks, I'll go ahead and include a link to a playlist of those down in the description. And also too, if you would like to sign up to support the channel, I will include a link to my Patreon down there as well. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to get out and flow today, and I'll see you with a new video real soon. Peace.